There are companies that change industries, and then there are companies that change the world. NVIDIA is one of them. Today, it's a name that dominates the tech landscape. Ask any gamer, any AI researcher, any self-driving car engineer, and they'll all tell you the same thing. NVIDIA is the gold standard. Its GeForce GPUs power the most immersive gaming experiences. Its AI chips run some of the most powerful supercomputers on the planet. And its technology is shaping the future of robotics, healthcare, and even space exploration. But it wasn't always this way. Long before NVIDIA became a 3.2 trillion giant, it was just a small startup with no money, no fame, and no guarantees. NVIDIA faced moments of near collapse, wrong bets, tough competition, and entire product lines that failed. There were times when it seemed like they would never make it. But one breakthrough changed everything. And that's what we are going to cover in this video, and we'll talk about the incredible story of NVIDIA, a journey filled with risky bets, industry-shaking innovations, and a rise so massive, it's now one of the most powerful companies in the world. So how did it start? Well, it all started from one man, Jensen Huang. Born in Tainan, Taiwan, Jensen's early life was anything but easy. His family moved from Taiwan to Thailand, then to the US, searching for a better future. But life didn't hand him any shortcuts. At just 9 years old, he found himself in a strict boarding school, tasked with cleaning dormitory toilets. A rough start? Absolutely. But instead of breaking him, it fueled him. It taught him discipline, perseverance, and a mindset that no task was beneath him. That relentless drive carried over to everything he did. Whether it was placing third in a national table tennis championship or diving into the world of technology, computers fascinated him. He wanted to understand them, improve them, revolutionize them. So, he pursued electrical engineering, earning degrees from Oregon State University and later, Stanford. But still before he built NVIDIA, he was a dishwasher. Yes, before Jensen was designing GPUs, he was scrubbing plates at Denny's. He worked his way up to busboy, but even there, he didn't just do the job, he mastered it. Efficiency, precision, and a commitment to doing things better, a mindset he would later bring into the tech world. His career took him to AMD and LSI Logic, where he gained deep insights into chip design and computing. He saw what worked, what didn't, and more importantly, what the future needed. Jensen Huang had spent years learning the ins and outs of the tech industry, climbing the ranks, mastering semiconductors, and understanding the raw power of computing. But deep down, he wanted more. That moment came when two of his colleagues, Chris Malachowski and Curtis Priam, approached him with an idea, one that would change everything. The three of them would often meet at Denny's, ironically, the same place where Jensen had once washed dishes. But this time, they weren't clearing tables, they were sketching out the future. At the time, computers were clunky, expensive, and boring. No speakers, no video, no graphics, just plain text on a screen. The idea of using a PC for anything beyond spreadsheets and basic computing? Unheard of. But Jensen and his team saw a different future. What if computers could do more than just process words? What if they could render realistic graphics, bring worlds to life, and power an entirely new industry? It was a crazy idea. Nobody had done it before. They didn't even own a proper PC. They had to buy one just to tear it apart and learn how it worked. And if you had asked market analysis back in 1993 about the demand for 3D graphics on personal computers, they would have laughed and told you zero. But that didn't stop them. Jensen, Chris, and Curtis weren't interested in what the market thought. They wanted to build something the market didn't even know it needed yet. And so, they took the leap. A leap into the unknown in April 1993. Armed with nothing but a bold vision, NVIDIA was born. Their mission? To build a computer that could do things normal computers couldn't. Back then, the tech world was obsessed with CPUs, the central processors that handle basic computing tasks. But Jensen and his team saw the untapped potential of graphics processors. Instead of just making computers run programs, what if they could make computers create? What if a chip could render lifelike images, power simulations, and unlock a level of computing beyond anything that existed? It was risky. They had no roadmap, no blueprint, and no guarantee of success. And to make things worse, they had no money. Starting a company wasn't just about having a great idea, it required funding. And raising money for a technology that didn't even exist yet, that was an uphill battle. To build NVIDIA, they needed an investor who believed in their vision. And they found the perfect backer, Don Valentine, a venture capitalist so legendary that people called him the grandfather of Silicon Valley. He wasn't the type to waste money. He had an eye for companies that would change the world. And when he heard NVIDIA's pitch, he saw what others didn't. This wasn't just a graphics company, this was the future of computing. With funding secured, the pieces were finally in place. Now, all they had to do was prove everyone wrong. After launching NVIDIA, Jensen Huang and his team thought they were on the right track. But their first chip, the NV1, flopped. It was a technological marvel, packed with 3D graphics, video, and audio processing. But the market didn't want an all-in-one solution. They just wanted fast, affordable 3D graphics. The result? A disaster. Their biggest customer, Diamond Multimedia, ordered 250,000 units. But when sales bombed, they returned almost every single one. NVIDIA was on the brink of collapse. Then came Sega. The gaming giant was working on its next-gen console and partnered with NVIDIA to develop the NV2 chip. It was a lifeline. But as they worked, the industry started moving toward a different 3D graphics standard. If they finished the Sega project, they would be stuck with outdated technology. If they walked away, they would go broke. Jensen made a bold move. He went to Sega's CEO and made an unthinkable request. Let us break the contract but still pay us. Sega had no reason to agree, but in an act of pure generosity, they did. The $5 million from Sega gave NVIDIA just enough to survive. With their last resources, they built a new chip, Riva 128. This time, they focused on only speed and performance, and when it launched, it sold 1 million units in just 4 months. For the first time, NVIDIA was ahead. By 1999, they unveiled GeForce 256, the world's first GPU. It redefined gaming, pushed NVIDIA ahead of competitors, and led to a game-changing deal. Microsoft chose GeForce to power the first Xbox. NVIDIA had conquered gaming. They had built the world's first GPU, revolutionized graphics, and dominated the market. But even with all that success, there was one problem. They were trapped. The PC market was slowing down. Competitors like Intel and AMD loomed over them, threatening to squeeze NVIDIA into a corner, forever stuck as the company that just made gaming chips. Jensen Huang saw the writing on the wall. If NVIDIA didn't break free, they would always be fighting for survival. They needed a new frontier, and that's when it hit them. The GPU wasn't just a gaming tool, it was programmable. That meant it could do more than just render graphics. It could process massive amounts of data, run complex simulations, and power things beyond anyone's imagination. But what market would they break into? The answer came in 2006 when NVIDIA launched CUDA, a platform that allowed their GPUs to be programmed for all kinds of scientific computing. Suddenly, researchers were using NVIDIA chips for molecular simulations, seismic data analysis, medical imaging, and more. But even that wasn't enough. The real breakthrough was still ahead. The AI gamble, a $0 billion market. By the early 2010s, a new technology was emerging, artificial intelligence. But there was a problem. AI had failed before. It had been hyped up for decades, but it never took off. The market for AI chips was also almost zero. Nobody knew if AI would ever be commercially viable. Companies avoided it because the risk was too high. But Jensen, he saw something no one else did. NVIDIA would bet everything on AI. It was a terrifying decision. The company was now public, worth billions, and finally stable. But instead of playing it safe, Jensen pushed NVIDIA into unknown territory. It wasn't just a side project. NVIDIA went all in. They poured money into AI research, hired new talent, and shifted focus away from their core gaming business. It was a complete transformation. And then, they found their first believers. Top AI researchers started experimenting with NVIDIA's GPUs, and the results were astonishing. Neural networks trained faster than ever before. AI models that once took weeks to process could now be completed in days. Word spread. Tech giants, universities, and startups all started turning to NVIDIA. And then came the moment that changed NVIDIA forever. The AI revolution. Suddenly, AI exploded. Large-scale data centers, cloud services, autonomous vehicles, and robotics. They all needed one thing: massive computational power. And guess who had the perfect chips for the job? NVIDIA. In a matter of years, AI went from an uncertain experiment to a multi-billion-dollar industry. And NVIDIA wasn't just part of it, they were leading it. Their GPUs powered everything from self-driving cars to medical breakthroughs, advanced robotics, and AI assistants. Every major tech companies like Google, Microsoft, Amazon, and even Tesla relied on NVIDIA's chips. The gamble had paid off, and it paid off big. Just a few decades ago, NVIDIA was a struggling startup, barely clinging to survival after nearly going bankrupt. They had no guaranteed future, no safety net, just a handful of engineers, a bold vision, and the willingness to take risks that no one else dared to. Today, they've built an empire. NVIDIA is no longer just a gaming company or a chip maker. They're the backbone of the AI revolution. Their technology powers everything, from cutting-edge AI research and self-driving cars to medical breakthroughs, robotics, cloud computing, and even space exploration. And the numbers? They're nothing short of staggering. $26 billion in revenue just in Q1 of FY25, over 8,500 patents protecting groundbreaking innovations, a mind-blowing $3.22 trillion market cap, making them the second most valuable company in the world. They went from a company that almost didn't survive to one that is reshaping the future of technology itself. If there's one thing we've learned from NVIDIA's journey, it's that the future belongs to those who dare to take risks. They could have played it safe, stuck to gaming, competed with Intel and AMD, and settled for being another player in the PC market. But instead, they gambled. They bet on unproven markets, technologies that didn't even exist yet, and ideas that others thought were impossible. And because of that, they didn't just adapt to the future, they created it. So, what do you think? Will NVIDIA continue to dominate the future, or will another company rise to challenge them? Let us know in the comments. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications because we have plenty more videos for you. Until next time, keep pushing boundaries and never stop innovating.